sweet, sweet exchange. An opportunity to travel, party, oh yeah, and study. People think that a year abroad away from home is a bit too much, but honestly, this has been the best year of my life. Here's my honest exchange experience at the University of Sussex. Story of my life, I've always wanted to study abroad because I guess I wanted to experience something different than what I was comfortable with and outside of my little Asian bubble, but we couldn't afford to send me abroad to take my undergrad because international student fees is just hella expensive. So I stumbled upon this program offered by the Chinese University of Hong Kong, shout out my dudes, that would guarantee me a year abroad at the University of Sussex. So I applied, and a year later, me and 19 of my other course mates flew to England. And here we are. So I flew to London on my 20th birthday because what better way to start your adulthood by flying to a country where you knew absolutely no one. Luckily my uncle was here and he picked me up from the airport and I stayed with him in Bath for 2 days before driving down to Brighton to start this new chapter in my life. This is the house that I've been living in for the past 9 months with 4 other girls who have been super amazing. So one of them moved out the first 2 months. She wanted to move to an en-suite accommodation. No tea, no shade. But yeah, honestly the past 9 months have been super amazing. I've learned so many things about like different cultures. Like my American housemate taught me the word toboggan, which I didn't even know was a thing. And I also know a bunch of Italian swear words, you know, just in case I need to swear in front of my parents, like in another language, so that's cool. Yeah. Another good thing about this house is, if you follow me, we have a washing machine and a dryer. Uni life has been pretty crazy, in England as well. Oh my god. In Freshers Week we had all of these super cool ice-breaking events where international students, exchange, local, or just about any student and staff really were all able to meet each other, so that was really cool. Before coming on this exchange, one of my main goals was to make friends with just about every single person that I met, and I was able to do so because it wasn't really hard to make friends in England. Everyone here is just willing to talk to each other and just open about everything, so it was really easy. It was never a challenge to do so. I've made friends in the weirdest of places, like on the bus, train, in streets, in parties, or even in toilets, or toilets in parties. Drinking here is super cheap. Like I was able to get a pint of this for £3.30, which is around 30 Hong Kong dollars. No wonder people here practically drink alcohol like it's water. Oh my god, it's 1 p.m. and I'm gonna get lit! Guys, it's 2 p.m. and I'm tipsy. The courses here are structured differently. Basically you have a lecture and a seminar. So a lecture is where you just have to basically sit there and listen to the professor for an hour and take notes and stuff. Whereas a seminar, you have to sit there for like 2 to 3 hours depending on what course you have and engage with the readings and the topics that are being discussed at the moment. So this is the classroom where I had my law and governance class. It was basically a class where we talked about UK politics and all of that, and I thought that I was pretty knowledgeable in current events, but then I guess after taking this class I realized I wasn't, and all we kept talking about was Brexit. It was pretty tiring to keep talking about Brexit over and over again. But it was also in this class where my professor told me that basically I wasn't bright enough because I asked a pretty dumb question after class. I remember going back home after that seminar and in tears because no professor has ever called me dumb before.
The library.
The library where I spent most of my nights up until 2 in the morning because I couldn't be bothered to come here during the day, where everyone's literally fighting for a seat, especially assessment period. I mean, as you can see, I don't have my own seat and have to use this to study. Sussex Uni doesn't have any space in their library.
I can't believe we're filming a fucking video in the library while people study for their exam.
One thing that they don't really talk about, being 6,000 miles away from home, surrounded by strangers on a completely different continent, is the homesickness. Now, I admit that I haven't been homesick as much as I should have been. Like, to be honest, I've been enjoying my freedom and myself way too much. But let's talk about culture shock, yeah? My entire life, I've been living in the comfort of my own home, surrounded by family and friends. And I suppose that since I've already migrated from the Philippines to Hong Kong before, it wouldn't be as hard and I wouldn't be so culture shook. But I guess moving to a different continent altogether was different. Stop, this is supposed to be emotional. Okay. So when I was experiencing all these things and all these different cultures, I realized that there's so much about the world that I didn't know. And so my mind was opened and I was doing things and basically I didn't know who I was or who I was becoming. I grew up in a traditional and conservative Asian family, so I guess coming here and experiencing culture that was just so liberal and so open-minded was just so intriguing and just so different. And so I was experiencing all of these emotions that I've never felt before, or doing all of these things that I've never done before. And so at one point it was just super overwhelming that I just had to sit myself down and think about what I was doing. So then I started making these vlogs that would just basically help keep me sane, I guess. By doing those vlogs I was able to keep in mind the things that I was doing and make sure that none of them was against my moral code. But being on this exchange, I feel like it's really a glimpse into real adulthood where there are no rules and there's no one there who's going to be telling you what you can and what you can't do. So really it's up to you to decide whether or not your actions have a consequence, and you ultimately have to think about what you're doing for your own benefit. This video is sponsored by Kokoro. Advice that I can give: really travel as much as you can and as much as you can afford it. And I know that not a lot of people can afford traveling everywhere, but I guess you just really have to take advantage of the fact that you have such cheap access to all these countries that are in such close proximity to you. I was able to travel from London to Amsterdam and get there in 14 minutes, and I was also able to take a train from London to Belgium and get there in 2 hours, which is pretty cool. So it's a good experience to do so. You just have to really do your research and take advantage of all the promotions or student discounts that you might come across. And expenses aside, it's really important to experience different cultures and to experience what traveling is like on your own or with friends, especially while you're still young. It will help you figure out where you want to be in the future, what you want to do, which country you want to live in, and will help motivate you reach for the different goals that you want to achieve in life and you aspire to achieve those goals. I know I've been talking a lot about partying and traveling and all that other fun stuff, but you have to remember that this is called an academic exchange or a study abroad. So you have to remember to actually study. This exchange is all about balancing having fun and studying, so you have to find that right balance, I guess. Before I traveled and did any of those fun stuff, I made sure that I finished all my assessments, all my essays, or did all my notes and everything that I needed to do before I had fun. So yeah. Thank you, University of Sussex, for such an amazing experience, for all the friends I've made from all over the world, for the professors and tutors who really pushed me and motivated me to do my best. It is bittersweet to close this chapter in my life, but I'm really thankful for such an amazing experience and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
You aren't talking?
No, I'm not. I'm gonna overlay some music on this.
You're kidding me? So I'm holding this camera.